Hello there, you beautiful people. How is everyone doing today? Welcome back to another video. It's good to see so many people here ready to talk about Manchester City Football Club. Is everyone good? Is everyone well? I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Obviously, we've got some important Premier League games coming up, but for now, we're just going to talk Manchester City. It's good to see anyway. So many people here. I want to say very quickly, by the way, if you don't mind, do me a massive favour. Please do click the link in the description below. Please do download OneFootball if you haven't already. It's a fantastic app. I've been using it for like probably 4 years now. It's genuinely fantastic. They've been supporting my channel for ages. All the information, all the news and all that kind of stuff about Manchester City from across the world of football, and all the stats, of course, and the transfer goodness that you guys need to know about. Download it right now. Click the link in the description. Also, you can probably just scan that QR code right here next to my face. Over 10 million people use it, and it costs absolutely nothing. All you got to do is just scan your QR code or click the link in the description. Help support my channel. Get yourself a great app, and it'd be massively appreciated. It's good, I promise you. I wouldn't lie to you guys. Download it right now, right this second. So, hello to everyone tuning in. It's good to see so many of you here already. Who's here in the chat? We got Legand, James, of course, Tyrese, we've got Jonathan, we got MIB, the Men in Black are here apparently, which is nice. Harry, Joseph, One Voice, Nicholas, Cool Guy, Carl, Chaz, Ellis, Brillo, Dr. Footy, and so many other people, and Ramel, and Javier, and Lord, and Massam, and it's just, you're all here. They're all here, like that Avengers film when they're all here, whatever. And Castle. Present, everyone's like present. Messam's present. Put your hand up if you were like a teacher. It's like, you're Jessica, present. Armelica, present. So we're here today to discuss Manchester City Football Club because, say I'm here. Okay, Nicola's here. The wife's here too. She's on the loo actually. So I know she's like that. Right, I'm pointing right there, banging on the wall because I know she's next door. Did you hear that? Do that one more time, Nicola. That was Nicholas saying hello from the bathroom. True story. That's the kind of shit. No, that is intentional. The kind of shit you get from these live streams there. All aboard the Haaland train, indeed. Either way, I thought I'd go live because obviously it's a lazy Wednesday evening. And there's been a little bit of Haaland news today, where reports suggest, and let me just quickly get the article up and so on, and all the headlines and all that kind of stuff that suggest it comes from a journalist. By the name of, he's got a wonderful name, Pacojo. What a name, Pacojo. He's actually apparently a quite well-connected journalist, and he's reported this for SER Deportivos, and he's reporting that Real Madrid now allegedly believe that Manchester City are favourites for this signing, which is really, really interesting, genuinely really interesting. And you know what? Maybe we could be. You got to bear in mind the Madrid stance will be based off months of negotiations. If this is true, I would expect Madrid to start to leak to journalists about their position, all this kind of stuff. Maybe as a last-minute kind of negotiation thing to get Haaland to see what they would view as sense to, maybe make himself more affordable. But Haaland and Mino and Haaland's dad, they all know their value here. So this is really interesting information. I genuinely feel that there could be something to this. I genuinely feel that there might actually be an element of truth in this. Honestly, I do think City were probably second in the running initially. I do believe possibly, this is just a guess by the way, but I do think Madrid were his kind of choice. To take my jacket off there, a little bit warm. I do believe, that his first choice might have been Real Madrid, and I think he probably still is. But it's one of those things where, just because it was first choice doesn't mean the other choices weren't good as well, if that makes sense. I actually feel like he might have fancied life in Madrid and all this kind of stuff, but the package that they've offered him probably isn't good enough. There's a very real chance that the money might not be quite right for him. And there's also a very, very real chance that, they can't simply afford it because they're going to get Mbappe. Everyone knows Real Madrid are going to get Mbappe, right? It's not exactly hidden news. They obviously going big for him because he's on a free transfer. They can go for his wages, and they still have to have a budget. Brillo's just said in the comments, this journalist Pacojo is very high rated, respected journal for Madrid. So there we go. This guy's got good connections. So he's too early for a strip show, says Mesam. No, never mind, man. Just get the guns out. I haven't got any guns. Spoiler. But essentially, I think there's something in this. I do think City are there just behind in second place, but now Madrid have probably realised that what they're offering Haaland just isn't really viable for Haaland and his camp in particular. I do honestly feel like they probably be offering a little bit less. And there's some suggestions which I read somewhere. Let me I have a cup of tea while I do this. There were some suggestions that they wanted him to sign a really long contract with the wages spread out, but eventually extended him. And I saw someone suggest that, a relative in the know suggested, which would make sense given the fact that, financially they can't afford it all in one go. But I don't think Haaland wants to commit himself to Madrid forever. And Real Madrid do not let players go. You think about Real Madrid when they sign a superstar. Where's the final destination when you've signed a superstar from Real Madrid? You stay at the club. That is pretty much exactly how Real Madrid operate, because they have too much money and too much, almost like not self-respect, too much pride, I guess. Like, they won't allow players to move on eventually. So I guess what I'm saying here is, if there's any temptation for Haaland to play elsewhere, I think he probably knows that he needs to play elsewhere first and then go to Madrid later on. Put it this way, it's a damn sight easier to leave the Premier League to go to La Liga to Madrid than it is to leave La Liga and go to the Premier League. I really believe this is true. This would be, so I think he's probably looking at Manchester City now going, do you know what? How old is Haaland right now? Is he 21? He's probably thinking to himself, let's have a look. Haaland is 21, yeah, he's 22 in July. He's probably thinking, do you know what? I'll go to the Premier League for a few years, and then if I'm happy there, I'll stay. If not, I'll just go over to Madrid and get the move there if I want to. Because he probably can do that. I mean, I'm almost certain Manchester City won't expect him to sign like 6 or 7 year contract. It'll probably be a 5-year contract like the rest of them. Whereas Madrid would want him on a longer one than that, that's what the report suggests. So, I honestly reckon that there could be something to this. I mean, Haaland would be just insane, wouldn't he? Erling Haaland is the most prolific striker probably in the world at the moment. He's up there with Lewandowski, of course. He's an absolute freak of nature. The next to step into that Ronaldo mold, almost certainly. Of course, as well, he has that Manchester City link. He does have a place in his heart for this club. His dad, of course, played for Manchester City. I think at one point he might have even captained Manchester City in a game. I can't remember that. He probably did. And there's also a real good chance that he probably looks at this gap that Manchester City have created for him as a striker with no Sergio Aguero there anymore, of course. He thinks, I could come in here and score an absolute ton of goals, become a Premier League legend, the most viewed league around the world football, playing under the greatest coach in the world, and get an awful lot of money and be a cult hero and the new face, essentially, of the Premier League. He would be the face of the Premier League. Like, who else would be a bigger superstar than Haaland? That's a good question for everyone else. Is there any bigger superstar potentially than Haaland in the Premier League? I'm honestly not convinced there would be. He would have to share the limelight a tiny bit with Mbappe at Real Madrid, which I'm not sure he'd probably be bothered by, but it must be tempting. It must be tempting for him to become the superstar. Ronaldo saying Abid Suleiman. Yeah, Ronaldo's on his way down though, isn't he? Like, Ronaldo, of course, is a bigger marketable name, but he's on his way down, man. Like, it's not even close. Salah's the big one. Salah's the big one. Kev, it's basically Salah, De Bruyne, and Ronaldo. I actually agree with Reece. Largely, Ronaldo's on his way down. We all know this. Ronaldo's got a year or two at the top left at most. Haaland would become the face of the Premier League. Salah, there's a good chance he might not even be there in a year or two as well, There's a real good chance, basically, this is Haaland's lead to take. Maybe Phil Foden's got a chance, Lukaku, sarcasm. Linda, sarcasm is brutal. What I'm saying is, we're in a good place. Guys, we're in a really good place here to potentially secure this guy. And look, we don't know if it's going to happen. I know there are some in-the-know City guys who, have suggested that it could be actually happening this. And I actually sort of believe them. That's my honest hot take. I do believe there is something in the water here. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think it's more likely to happen than not, which is crazy for me. I know I'm not this optimistic usually, but I do think we can. For one, we know we can afford it because it's a release fee clause, and Manchester City can do release fees. We know they can do that. Obviously, the wages would be insanely high, but this guy is the biggest prospect in world football. Pretty much as a striker, so it's definitely possible. I want to say, by the way, there's 300 people watching and 78 likes. Let's get to 200 likes. Come on, we can do it. Likes, just going to do that for a second to remind you all. Please do hit the like button. Oh, by the way, has anyone followed my TikTok account yet? If you haven't already, please do give that a follow. I've got to plug my own TikTok. I've been making little Manchester City videos over there, and I think they're quite good actually. I'm going to keep doing loads of them, but it's not I'm not dancing about doing dance routines. Give it a follow there. Give it a follow. I'll put a link in there in one of the comments now. So give it a follow if you haven't already. 123 likes is going up. But give me a follow over on TikTok. I'm doing Manchester City short form content. The latest one was about Liam Delap. And I've done one about Julian Alvarez. The Spurs prediction. We'll ignore that one and all that kind of stuff. But either way, this is exciting times for you Manchester City fan. I do think we are going to sign a big striker. We've got Julian Alvarez, of course, as well. He's a fantastic thing. But, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. By the way, the TikTok link is now in the pinned comment at the top, so go for it. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who's been really nice about the house as well, by the way. Really appreciate it. Me and Nicola put a lot of time and effort into trying making it look professional, I can't have a big blue wall in the background because it's, eventually I'll get an actual office, but this still is a guest room. So, one day I'll have more City stuff everywhere. But eventually, one day this will be a room, hopefully for a family member or something like that, But I'm glad you all like it anyway. It's getting nicer and nicer in my opinion, so I'm happy about it. But the Alvarez one, to me, Alvarez as well, he's not even like Haaland. That's what I like about it. So the idea is that you can get Haaland and Alvarez. You've all of a sudden got just fucking the future of football there, potentially. And what I mean by that is the future of, potential, great young strikers. Like, obviously Mbappe exists and all this kind of stuff, and you've got other players coming through. No, you are, Nicholas. Back at you. But you've got all these great young players. But, Alvarez, I saw his hat-trick, Zach, and I made a TikTok about that, actually. Go and watch my TikTok about Alvarez and the shorts as well, of course. But you've got Alvarez, who's such an intelligent, enigmatic, bustling Argentinian, wonder kid where loads of pace, loads of skill. Loads of endeavour, like a little kind of cut from the similar cloth to Aguero and Tevez kind of vibe, which I love, by the way. And then, of course, as well, Haaland, which is just this brutal killing machine, who's just a pure number 9, pure strength. And, of course, as well as Manamella's just said, Delap's a big lad too. Maybe Delap could be the one to suffer if we sign Haaland, but... I'm sort of ready for City to sign a global superstar, an actual superstar, an actual statement signing, mainly because it just changed Manchester City forever. If you sign someone like Haaland, well, are things ever going to be the same again? And I mean that in a very positive way. All of a sudden, what we're showing is that, it's normal for these young players who are superstars to potentially come to Manchester City and ply their trades. So, it's interesting to see, isn't it? I do honestly think it could be a game changer for football. All of a sudden you've got, as Nicholas just said as well in the chat, Delap, Haaland, Alvarez. That is kind of scary. It's a bit silly, isn't it? Linda, I saw a lot of Jesus rumours. I think Jesus will leave, actually. I got a feeling he'll leave Jesus. I like Jesus. I think he's a good player. But I can't help but feel he'll just fancy his chances somewhere. People always mention Juventus, and Juventus just feels so Jesus, doesn't it? I don't know why. Something about that. Go to Atletico. Go to Atletico, Jesus. You'll be absolutely loved there. Can you imagine a more Simeone striker than Jesus? He'll love him. So I think Jesus will eventually go if he does. If he does, I don't mind as long as we sign, as long as Alvarez comes in to directly replace him or Delap gets his chances or whatever. But I don't think Delap, obviously as people are pointing out in the comments, Juice to say he's only 19 years old, 19, be calm. Yeah. It's true, but we'd all would have loved a 19-year-old Haaland. What I guess I'm getting at is Delap's 19, but he's also, he's not 19 at the same time. And he's not 19 forever as well, to quote a certain Manchester band. He won't be. At some point, he's going to be 20, 21, and we need to invest at some point to find out if he can do it. Either way, Delap's going to the top. Whether it's City or not, he's going to the top. I honestly believe that. Yeah, Carl, maybe you've got a point. About why would he go to Juventus. But either way, all I want to talk about is, Haaland, because it's a really interesting... one of the reports in this suggested that he had 5 options on the table. Let me find who they are. The options on the table apparently City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and PSG. Apparently, Dortmund's contract offer is just not even being considered. That makes an awful lot of sense. Dortmund at the moment, they're not at the very best. Bundesliga right now, they're currently sat, obviously, they're 6 points behind. They're not going to win the Bundesliga. But more embarrassingly for them, obviously they're out of the Champions League, but then as well the other day, and this is where it gets relatively embarrassing, they lost 4-2 to Rangers in the Europa League. So there's a real big chance that they're going to go out of the Europa League. They could obviously turn around it at home. But either way, Dortmund are not a club, I guess, right now. And I'm not trying to be harsh here. They're just simply not a club that can fulfill, his needs. They're not. They're really not. So there's an element of he's obviously going to move. I don't think it's even close to being an option where he'll stay. So he won't stay. Guys, we're so close to 200 likes. Let's get to 200 likes if you don't mind. And do hit the subscribe button as well. Nice to get to 150 subscribers before this video's over. But I do think as well, people have suggested as well, the idea City are building the next generation of sides. And when you think about it, we are getting young players in. We've extended, obviously, the contract of McAtee and Wilson-Esbrand, and Delap and Cole Palmer have got an awful long time left on the contract. And of course, Foden's here for a long time. He will extend, don't worry. Then, of course, we've got young players like Diaz is young still-ish. Rodri's got plenty of time. Bernardo's not that old. He's like 27 or something like that. Then we've got, Alvarez we've just signed. Potentially could sign something like, a Haaland or something like that. And what we're doing is slowly building our next side. We're slowly building the future of Manchester City. And in that instance, if you get all these players coming through, you start to wonder, could we get Guardiola? Could we get Guardiola to extend a little bit and maybe see over the development of his next side? And I do think it's possible. I really do. Keiki as well, of course. Yeah, good point. Ellis. There's loads of great young players coming through. Romeo Lavia's another one. Samuel Edozi's a pressed at some points. They won't all make it, of course, no. But I do think we're looking at these young players and thinking we could be building the next generation here, and I do think there's a very real possibility. Bernardo, don't do that, Justin. Justin said Bernardo could go to Madrid to replace that aging midfield in Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro. Don't scare me like that, man. There was some reports that earlier that I saw some reports that suggested that Madrid have no interest in Bernardo right now. And I'm sure they don't, but I'm pretty certain everyone will, as soon as he comes available again. I'm just hoping he extends, man, because Bernardo is weird because he's obviously so good right now, and I just keep presuming he's going to stay because he looks happy again. But football and life is very short, and that's the one thing that we've been reminded of the last couple of years throughout this pandemic is that, things can change in a heartbeat. Life, you only get one chance to live a happy life, and some people want to be in different places. So we have to be really cautious around Bernardo Silva. I do think the love and the performances have shown that he's probably happy here, but you never know. Now, Junior's just said, rightfully so in the comments, Raiola hates Pep. I think it's more the other way around as well. Pep hates Raiola. It's pretty equal. But you got to bear in mind that the main person in this is always Haaland himself and Alfie Haaland. It's not like Raiola's he's not kind of fully calling the shots here. Like, I feel like, Raiola, if his client wants to go to Manchester City and earn loads of money, Manchester City Raiola will allow it. And I think Manchester City will allow, the occasional Raiola client. I mean, I think Sandler, someone correct me if I'm wrong, was Philip Sandler had a bit of representation with Raiola? I know, of course, there's difference there because he's not a superstar. But I don't think Cheeky has any particular problem with Raiola, directly. So I feel like basically Guardiola would just sit back and go, I'm not getting involved. Cheeky, you go and deal with Alfie Haaland and Raiola if you have to. I'm not getting involved. And that's probably what's going to happen for what it's worth. And that's fine. Like, if it was down to Pep to negotiate with Raiola, we'd have a problem. But it isn't. Pep will be nowhere near the negotiating table. He'll probably speak to Alfie, his dad, or Erling directly. And that's pretty much it, But exactly as Brian said, if Raiola can hate Pep all he wants, but if Team Haaland wants to say, "What, join City?" he has no choice but to negotiate, and that's pretty much true. It's an issue, but I think it's probably not enough for Manchester City. Put it this way: I don't think Pep saying no to Haaland just because of Raiola would fly Manchester City. They're like, yeah, that's nice, Pep, but this guy's a future superstar, and also his dad represents him, and his dad's sound and likes Manchester City, so. And also, you're not going to be here forever, so we need to kind of plan our future. So you don't get to veto this one. Do you think he's a good player? Yes. Do you like him? Would you like to play him next season? Yes. Well, let us worry about Raiola. I reckon that's pretty much the situation we'd be here. And it's always about the money. I absolutely agree. That's a hot take indeed. A Fwifway, is that how I pronounce it? It says hot take, Pep won't leave if Klopp is still at Liverpool. I like the idea of that. Like, if, they just kind of keeps matching each other. Like, yeah, hopefully Pep's. I want Pep to do like a nice round 10 years. I want to do longer than that, but 10 years of Pep that's a legacy. You know what I mean? 7 years is not a legacy. It's a great long time, but 10 years is a legacy. When you get to a decade, that's a whole, kids are born and then start in school and all that kind of stuff. Well, not quite, but nearly. But either way, I want that legacy. That's what I really want from him. And Guardiola's very capable of doing that. Of course, yeah, Leeds are playing tonight, by the way. Liverpool Leeds. Liverpool going to absolutely spank him. We all know this. We're not going to pretend it. I am expecting a convincing win. I'm expecting the breakdown afterwards when it's only 3 points. You never know, though. Leeds could do us a massive favour, but it ain't going to happen. Oh, Jimmy, if Pep extends one day, it'd be absolutely wonderful. Reportedly, by the way, of course, at the bottom, as you see scrolling right below me right now, Mahrez is allegedly keen to extend his stay at Manchester City. I would be more than up for that. Mahrez, he looks very happy at Manchester City these days. Mahrez, of course, is pretty much our main goal scorer these days as well. What's his stats this season? But either way, he's scoring a shit ton of goals. We have a penalty taker as well. That's one thing that was sort of lost from the Spurs game. But he's he's a penalty taker now as well. He's got 18 in 30 games this season. That's a pretty good record for Mahrez. 18 in 30. Is this his highest goal scoring season ever? It is by some way, actually. I know he scored 18 in 39 back in 15-16 for when Leicester won the league. But now, I would say, he's going to score way more than this. He's going to get probably like 25 goals this season, which is pretty crazy for Mahrez. And it also shows, by the way, how someone always steps up. Does anyone remember my pre-season predictions when I said we haven't got a striker, but someone's probably going to step up? It's always the way. Last season, Gundogan scored best part of 20 goals. Foden scored loads as well. Even Ferran scored 13 last season. But someone always steps up because that's how it works. And this season, Mahrez has stepped up, So there'll always be someone. I actually agree with Brian about Cole Palmer being Mahrez's Cole Palmer, for me, is pretty much the exact replacement you want for Mahrez. A guy who scores goals for fun for the academy. We already seen him score a few goals for the first team. We know Cole Palmer can finish. He's scored good goals for the first team as well. So I do think there's an element of Cole Palmer just being groomed entirely to take over that role because he plays so similarly when he plays on the right. So I think we've got a ready-made replacement there. A young City fan, it'd be perfect. And as Zach's just pointed out in the comments as well, Mahrez's missus, I think it's an ex-Blackburn player's Ashley Ward. I think the footballer. Something like that. An ex-Blackburn player's daughter is getting married to Mahrez. So he's got an English missus. So he's probably going to stay here for that reason as well. But I do think largely, Mahrez is having a season of his life at the moment. He's scoring plenty of goals. He's going to score more. He's going to get over 20. And he could be the future Manchester City. Sorry, not the future Manchester City. He could be the future Manchester City. He's penalty taking for now anyway. We can afford Haaland. We can, says Anthony. We can indeed. So either way, things look really good. They look really, really good. I do think there's something in this Haaland thing. I do think Madrid can't get Haaland and Mbappe. Famous last words. Touch wood. All that kind of stuff. But Haaland and Mbappe in the same summer, it just feels a bit too much. Especially with Vinicius and Benzema playing really good football. I've got a feeling they will just be it's just one step too many. And the thing is, you got to bear in mind, Madrid will feel confident that they can tempt him away at some point. A lot of people are really into Nkunku at the moment. He looks like a really good player. I mean, obviously, the only thing I would say about Nkunku is he's got a lot to learn still. Obviously, but he's not even close to the level of Haaland at the moment. And he isn't. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but he looks really good. He obviously scored a hat-trick against us. But I wouldn't say he's quite that level. So we'll have to see. He's good, but he's not Haaland. I think that's and as FT Photons just pointed as well, Madrid also need midfielders and defenders too. They can't just entirely go for strikers this summer. And I know Mbappe's on a free, but Mbappe's on a free because, Caleb, that they're going to spend a fucking shit ton of money on his wages, insane amounts. And then, of course, the money that Haaland would demand as well. You're looking at two Ronaldo-esque level wages here in one go, which I don't think they can possibly justify right now. Maybe. I'll be back. I reckon Haaland could go to Barca, and they could get a massive loan. Oh, I don't really know how big the loan could be because the banks don't go near Barca at the moment, mate, because they are fucked financially. So I don't think that's true. You might be wrong there, but I don't think people realise just how screwed Barca are financially. So we'll have to see. I remember his hat-trick in Nkunku. He looks like a good player, but I'm still not sure he's a level of Haaland. He isn't the level of Haaland. He's a very good prospect. And put it this way, if we signed him, I would be very happy. But he's a different kind of forward, I reckon. I do want someone who's 6'4" or whatever, and he's built like the proverbial brick shit house. And I do want someone who can barge forward and beat people and all that kind of stuff. Nkunku's a good player. He's a good player. I'm looking at the Liga table, by the way. In Barcelona, there's a very real chance that they could even struggle to get into the Champions League next season. They're currently sat in fourth. I don't think people realise just how bad they are these days. 15 points off Real Madrid. So I don't think Barcelona's even tempting for Haaland. They've out the Champions League. Messi's gone. Their superstar signing Ferran Torres is in and out the side. And Aubameyang is their new striker, and he got a hat trick the other day. But they are not the team they used to be. Even Busquets is one of the last of the old guard. He's getting on a bit. He'll be 34 next season. I don't think they've got the pull. I don't think they potentially got the pull for this because they're not quite there. 200 likes. Yes. Let's get to 300. No rest for the wicked. That's what I'm saying, unless we can get there. But I think Barcelona, we look at them logically. Let's go through the teams. Like, Barcelona, I'm not really sure they are the team for it. I don't think they have the money. I honestly don't think they can justify it. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I just can't see them affording this. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but it just doesn't feel feasible for me. PSG, well, I don't think Haaland wants to play in Paris. I think Haaland's a lot more ambitious than that, and that's all due respect to PSG. I'm wrong about Barcelona. In what way am I wrong about Barcelona, mate? I'm genuinely curious, fan Marsh TV. Literally, they are struggling these days. Barcelona are not the team they used to be. They've always been a big club, but they are not the team you go to win the Liga to, or the team that you go to win the Champions League to. They're not even close to that anymore. That's just a fact. It's literally a fact right now. Messi's gone, and they look undone. They are just another team. As DC just said, they have to build the foundations again. And they aren't even. They are way off. They are way off currently. So I don't agree with PSG. I think it's just a league issue. I think it's a league issue. I think PSG will go for Salah. Does anyone else see that? They might even go for Mahrez. But I think Mahrez might stay. But I think they'll go for Salah. It just feels like they'll have, obviously, Neymar. They've got, Mbappe will go. They've got Messi, of course. I can't really see. I don't think he wants to go there. I think he wants the league or the Premier League. Bayern, I think he's just done with the Bundesliga in general. Bayern, I don't think will be able to offer the same money that Manchester City can, or Madrid. So we'll have to see. That's a good point. Jason reckons PSG will get Mane, not Salah. Yeah. Imagine Salah at City. Oh, God. Yeah, Salah at City would be ridiculous. I kind of would like that just because it would really piss everyone off. I don't really like big players from rivals sometimes, but that one, oh, God. Imagine the fucking shit scene, that's not a shit show that would be Salah signing for Man City. Oh, I know he's Salah, but he's good, and it would annoy the whole world. So I'm almost kind of for it just because it'd be so annoying to everyone else, and surely there's some logic behind that, you know what I mean? Oh, surely there's some logic behind that. Did anyone follow on TikTok, by the way? Let's have a look. I got a few followers on the TikTok. B. Wedgwood did, JD Alborough, Mank Martin, Jess L. Jones, Official Puera, and user 62341359272777. Good name. Followed me as well. Follow. More people can follow if you want to. Oh, and Football ZB just started following me as well. Thank you so much. It's Stephen_McInerney if you want to. Zach's just followed. Is that you, Zach? It is Zach. Yeah, Zach Bookbinder. Thank you. It's pinned at the top in the top comment. Give it a follow. That's what I will say to everyone. LPG, you wish. You absolutely wish. But, Salah to City, it's not going to happen, obviously, but it would just be funny. It'd be funny. Finn, please stop typing the letter E. Why isn't TikTok called Esteemed Kompany? I don't know, actually. It's just, I've called it my name because I like using my name sometimes, I just do. I actually do. And maybe one day as well, even what I do non-Man City stuff, it could be something else. We'll see. Thank you to JR Photographic, who just followed as well. But Haaland stuff, what Gundo as a manager in the future, Juicer said. Would I take Messi? I feel like now I wouldn't take Messi. I feel like that train, literally, this is the first year ever where I wouldn't take Messi. It feels like he's just moved on, doesn't it? I feel like the Messi kind of hype train. It's like I'm not sure I care about it anymore. It's just he's not had the greatest of times. Messi, like at PSG, he looks like a man who probably realizes football is changing and he's moving on, and he made a mistake going to PSG. And I just think I'm not really bothered. Kane, I never wanted Kane, not because he wasn't brilliant, because I wanted someone new and exciting. Alvarez is exciting. Haaland's exciting. I must admit, Kane was fucking phenomenal the other day. He was absolutely immense. So I can't deny that Kane is a brilliant player. And if City signed him, I'd be like, fair enough, you're brilliant. I will absolutely take you. But he still isn't the one I want. Not because he's not brilliant. It's just, I don't know. I want the shock of the new instead, And what I mean by that, I want the next superstar. And Salah, I know, is an absolute, what's it called? I'm contradicting myself with the Salah thing. Salah is just because it would cause an absolute mess online, and I would absolutely love to watch that go down. But for me, Haaland is the one I want to go forward for him. You will say, yeah. So this next transfer window is going to be insane. I think it would be, actually. Red That Night is right. It's going to be some insane movements in the transfer window, genuinely. It's going to be a really interesting transfer window. Like, obviously, City you have to see what our players do. Haven't extended yet. You know, Jesus, Sterling, people like that. It's going to be really interesting. Liverpool, does anyone think Liverpool have got, Leeds have got any chance? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I also saw Vlahovic's goal last night for Juventus. Was it last night or the night before? I can't remember. It was last night. Vlahovic looks good, doesn't he? He looks like a really good player. Looks like they've got a proper striker there, you know. He's going to score a few goals for Juventus. He's got a couple of them already. He's going to be an absolute goal machine for Juve. I've got no doubt about it. 2 in 5 so far, so he's had not a slow start. He's not a slow start at all. He hasn't had an explosive start. He's had a good start so far. But he's going to score loads. Brillo, you're so bold. For what it's worth, I think Leeds can't defend, so I don't think they've got any chance of winning 3-2. I think it's going to be like 5-0 or something like that. Even if 5-1, they might score, but, I can't really see it. 12% of a chance, Mason. I don't really see it. I think higher than that. I'm going higher. Jimmy Five Shins saying Matt Haaland has to be number one in priority. We have the squad to cope in all positions, even with injuries. Must do the deal. I agree. I actually agree. Mario as well saying Erling Haaland would also be a historic signing for the club. We never signed a player with that higher profile and that much potential. Once again, I agree. I think there's an element of City wanting that as well. I think sometimes you go, you're aware of the reputation that you don't sign the superstar, and like it didn't happen with Messi. It didn't happen with Kane. And we've missed out on some players that we wanted before, like Joao Felix and people like that. And Dani Alvarez is not a superstar, but he was a superstar, if you know what I mean? And I think there's a reputation that City don't get these players. So I do think largely they're like, no, we want this, We want we want these players to come to us now. We want to prove people wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if City want to flex their muscles a little bit in the transfer market, because we are now primed. In the way that the club was ready for a Guardiola manager, I think we're ready for a Haaland type signing. I do think we're ready for it now. And also you got to bear in mind, who knows what the Champions League situation would have been. Who knows, man? We could be, we might even win it this year. And all of a sudden we become a lot more tempting, don't we? We do become a lot more tempting. Who knows? Oh, yeah, that Dani Alves saga. I'm so glad we got, Walker, obviously. But the Alves saga was interesting, wasn't it, to say the least. What are you on about? Oh, Anthony's saying he hates Liverpool more than United. These days, I understand that. Now, I think Man United will always be... these days, United, though, it's more just apathy, isn't it? You just laugh at them. It's like, United aren't really the threat that, City like they used to be, so we kind of just enjoy their misery. 386 people watching. Let's get to 300 likes, guys. Let's get to the likes, the subscribers up as well, if you don't mind. But I think it's hard to hate Man United these days simply because they're so pathetic, and that sounds so brutal, but it's so honest. It's so honest, isn't it? Oh, the first super chat of the day. Thank you so much, Pete Shepherd. Let me just jump over to where's Pete Shepherd's chat. It says, if we win the Champions League, do we still sign Haaland? Absolutely, mate. That's the why. I've been shouting a bit there, but yeah, damn right we do. We absolutely sign Haaland if we win the Champions League. If anything, I think that emboldens it. We go and spend some of that money and we buy a world-class forward, and everyone goes, shit. They've just won the Champions League. They've got Guardiola, probably signed an extension at this point, fingers crossed. And they've just signed Haaland. It's like, the game has just changed. You guys are all irrelevant now. Damn right we go and sign it, we can do. Because, what more could we do than that? To terrify our rivals. The power that comes with that is it's ridiculous. Just imagine being Liverpool. Imagine being Madrid and Barca and everyone, United and Chelsea. They'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake. It's like the actual version of what Chelsea thought signing Lukaku would be, if that makes sense. Oh, we've won the Champions League and we just signed Lukaku, and everyone's going to go, oh shit, they're ready now. And everyone thought they might have been. I thought they might have been. But you know what happened? Fuck all. Lukaku's just ambled about, complained, and they've stumbled around in third. This would be that actually done right if that happened. So fingers crossed. Pete, you're a fucking legend. Thank you so much for the super chat, Pete. And Big Johnny's with a super chat as well. Where's Big Johnny? Where has he gone? There's my man, Big Johnny. Says the stars are aligning for this deal, but we've been burned, so won't believe it until Haaland has been with us for 5 years. Yeah, well, that's just like, he's there every day. He's like, I know he scored 45 goals, but is he really a City player? Did he really sign? Am I dreaming this? No, I'll wake you up. I'll wake you up when September comes. August. Johnny, it'll happen, mate. No, what happened? You're right. The stars are aligning for this deal. Like, let's just chat about it briefly. Like, why should Haaland sign for Manchester City Football Club? He should sign for Manchester City Football Club because he's a Manchester City fan. He's been watching Manchester City since he was a child. His dad literally played for Manchester City and captained Manchester City at one point. Manchester City are crying out for a striker of his profile. He also suits the physical game of the Premier League. And also, as well, the Premier League is crying out for a striker of his stature. The Premier League is clearly primed for Haaland to take over, score an absolute shit ton of goals, become a superstar on a different level, become the global face of the biggest league in world football, and then he gets to do whatever he wants after that while making himself a Manchester City legend and becoming a genuine household phenomenon globally. That is why Haaland should sign for Manchester City, because that position under the greatest manager in the world is absolutely prime for him, playing with some of the best young players in world football. And that's why, Erling, if you're watching, you should sign. That's why. So there we go. And as Electric to Shock said as well, he would win the Ballon d'Or in Manchester City. He would win the Ballon d'Or. He'd be a superstar on another level. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. Jessica saying, I'm a blue in a family of reds and he's a legacy. Exactly, Jessica. Big love for Jessica for the super chat as well. Super chat. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, he would be. He changes things. He absolutely changes things. I also loved, remember United thought they were going to sign him because Solskjaer once managed him at Moles. Oh, it was adorable. Absolutely adorable. Oh, it was a bit pathetic, but that's all United are these days. That's all United are. Jessica, you're a legend. Thank you for the super chats to Ben, Jessica, and who else was it? I've forgotten. Who was it? It was Big Johnny. Big Johnny is a big legend. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm pretty hopeful. What are the fixtures tonight? Let's have a look at the fixtures tonight. I probably aren't going to watch any. I'll be honest. I'll probably tune in for the last 10 minutes. Tonight we've got Liverpool Leeds, Burnley Spurs, Watford Palace. Yeah. So what does everyone reckon? Do your predictions. Burnley Spurs. What is your prediction? Spurs are going to win. No, Burnley are going to fucking win. After all that, I guarantee you Spurs aren't going to turn up. We all know it, man. We all know it. It's going to be, everyone's saying 1-1. Will I not watch Champions League? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'll be honest, I ain't going to watch any football. I'm not going to watch Athletic. I'm going to play Horizon Forbidden West. I'm really into it at the moment. But then I might come back online if Liverpool drop points. Liverpool predictions, 7-4, Daniel. Daniel, you're probably not wrong, mate. 8-0 Burnley, says Jimmy. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Leeds Panenka goal 1-0. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I think they're going to get battered. I think Liverpool will absolutely run away at Anfield, and Leeds are the exact kind of team that will get stonked here. Absolutely, stonk's not even a word. It is kind of isn't. They'll get tonked is what I added the word S to it. Liverpool's 6, Leeds 9. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I can expect. Leeds 7-2 Liverpool. That'd be nice, Carl. Looking forward to Elden Ring. I saw a lot of reviews saying it looks really good. The only thing about Elden Ring is that apparently it's a really, 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 really long game, and I'm not even sure if I have the time or energy for it. And I've never played a Souls game before, so I'm not sure if I'd enjoy it. I don't know. It looks great, though. It looks great. Another super chat. Kajana. What a great name, by the way. Kajana. Kajana saying, what do you think Haaland should earn per week? Oh, I don't know. I don't give a shit. Erling Haaland. So he breaks away and scores. Oh, Erling Haaland. I think we should pay you some more. Pay him some more. Sorry, I don't know, mate. I mean, I think De Bruyne. Let me have a look. What are Man City's wages? It's hard to. Apparently, De Bruyne is on around 400 grand a week, allegedly, and that probably makes sense given the fact he's a 2-time Premier League, Player of the Year and all that kind of stuff. I reckon he probably will be around that, late 350 to 400, but goal, like a £50,000 goal scoring bonus, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just under $500,000, which sounds insane, but, I honestly think he'll probably be like level with De Bruyne around 400k or something like that. Either way, you'll get more and more and more. Like, he's a great, something like that. What do you reckon, Tijana Haney? What do you reckon he should be paid? The GDP of the UK per week, says Winbane. Yeah, the gross domestic product of the United Kingdom, which is probably, several trillion or something? I don't know. So yeah, I reckon something like that. I've not seen Cobra Kai. No, Cobra Kai. I've not seen it. But yeah, Haaland won't. I don't think he'll go to the top. It'll be very close. For what it's worth, De Bruyne is a really intelligent guy. If Haaland comes, De Bruyne realizes that Haaland is the future, like Premier League football and all that shit. So I think he'll understand that this superstar gets an awful lot of money. But either way, Tijani, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for the super chat and all yous, by the way. Like, I do appreciate it massively. All the comments and all the likes are massively appreciated. But of course, I try and get to the super chats and all that kind of stuff because they are absolute heroes. Tijani reckons 400k per week. It probably will be something like that as well, mate. I reckon. Palace have scored, by the way, against Watford. That's big for them. Burnley dominating Tottenham. Of course they are. Of course they are. I mean, is anyone surprised by that? No one's surprised by it, are they? It's just how it is these days. Fuck Tottenham. I feel like I'm losing my voice just from retroactively thinking about Tottenham again. What do I think about his injury record? Apparently, there's a belief. I saw some suggestions that Haaland doesn't feel like he's very well managed with his injuries, and you got to bear in mind that players don't get injured equally at clubs. And what I mean by that is, like, certain clubs can injure players more than others because they have the physios might be not quite as good. They might have a different way of doing things. They might have to rely on players a little bit more. So sometimes the way that you can look at a player and go, oh, he's brilliant, but he's got some rough edges to smoothen out. It's possible that City's physios and coaches could look at Haaland and go, oh yeah, don't worry, we can smooth out those injuries. You know what I mean by that? Like, we always presume that look at him and go, oh, he's injured forever. What's to say a physio might not believe they can solve that? So I think it's a good example where they go, yeah, he's got injuries right now, but we can fix that. We can do that. So we always forget that things aren't always the same at each club. They're doing it a very different way. And he's also young. Also, Haaland as well. He had a massive growth spurt. Like, he literally grew about 4 inches over 2 years. So I do think that's massively affected him a little bit. So he probably just settle into his body a little bit more. Find a rhythm, not be leaned on so heavily, and hopefully he'll be all right. Of course fucking Burnley are winning. Of course they are. Of course Spurs are losing. Fucking hell. Of course they are. But guys, I'm going to have some dinner. We're having tacos for dinner tonight. I'm excited. I enjoyed this live stream, actually. I enjoyed it. Thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget the pinned comment right there. See it? The pinned comment in the chat. It's my TikTok. Go and give me a follow on there. I'm making content on there, and I'm enjoying doing it as well, actually. I want to try and get to 1,000 followers as soon as I can over there. It'd be great. Stanley and Alex have just followed, and LWE 18L. And state your name, cuz. And who else has followed? Davidor and Lewis and Khalifa. Thank you so much. I don't do dances. No, I do football content. How boring is that, eh? But you're all awesome. Please hit the subscribe button. You're all fantastic. You're a legend, Nicholas. Everyone's a legend. I'll catch you tomorrow for another video. For now, though, come on, Leeds. It's not going to happen, is it? Come on.